Hey everybody, this is Mike at Wilwood. I'm with my good friend Randy, who's one of our customers. He's built lots of exceptional cars, but this one he's been working on for about 2.5 years for the gentleman that everybody knows as Jim McIlvaine or OPTIMA Jim over at OPTIMA Batteries. He's built this car. You have to tell us about it, Randy.
This is a pretty unique car. You don't see a lot of them. This is a '69 Mercury Cyclone. And normally this has a W front end. We changed it up. We wanted to have a little bit of the look of the Talladega, the spoiler too, so we used the '69 Torino grill. We had to do all the metal work. We didn't make it any longer than it needed to be, so we kept the length short. Did a bunch of metal work on the inside of the engine compartment. A little playing around with the engine here. It is a Lingenfelter LS7.
So everybody has been coming to me and saying, did you see that blue car? And because it's hard to even distinguish what the car is because you've changed so much.
Yep.
And they're like, it has an LS in it.
Yep.
I didn't even know it had an LS in it.
That was the goal. We were trying to keep it so it would fool like 95% of the people out there that that's a Ford motor in there yet, and it's worked. I mean, that distributor, it's non-functional, but those plug wires are to the right firing order. Awesome. They go to the plugs. It fools a lot of people.
Wow.
And then we made the hood with the heat extractors because it is going to be used on a track. You want to get that air from underneath the hood. We did a little change with the body line around the wheel well, getting a little bit more tire in there. When we come down, we redid all the gaps in the doors. We got rid of the drip rail, but we left a little witness mark there, a line, so people knew that there was a drip rail, but you don't miss it because you see that body line.
And that cleans this location up so nice.
Wonderfully. We got rid of all the chrome trim that's in there. We had to fill holes and obviously make that all work, but it just cleaned up the whole look of the line and the flow of the car going back. And as we go back, I mean, we obviously changed the trim on the car, made it so it's black instead of being the chrome. We got rid of all chrome and polished stuff. Everything's like brushed stainless or aluminum, gloss black, and the blue.
Now, is this black chrome?
No, it's actually painted. We had to strip everything down and then paint it all up, so it really turned out nice that way, and it gives it a nice appearance.
So one thing that I saw, I think on Sunday when I came by to see the car, I know Jim. Yep. He's 7'1"?
7'1".
And you built the cockpit for him to be able to literally be comfortable.
Yes, he got in the car. We had to actually take the floor. We had to fit the car to him. We took the floor and we dropped it 2 inches on an angle. So the seat, as it goes back, it goes down.
You move the steering column out.
Steering column is 5 inches further back into the car, but when you do that, you also have to drop it down below the dash. So it's not up in the dash like it normally would be. Oh. We had to close that all off and make a totally different mount underneath there, because if you would leave it, it'd be shooting up towards the headliner.
Yeah, the top of the wheel being up here.
But I mean, if you sit in there, you can get a reference. I mean, for your height to where Jim's pedals are, I mean, there's like a gap where your feet will be.
Wow.
So, but the seat does go far enough forward that I can actually drive it. Little on the tippy toe once in a while, but it does work. So, and the one thing I love, I mean, '69 Cyclones don't close like that.
No.
So we had wonderful Cobra seats in here. Jim picked those out, and then we just took the rest of the interior and made it look like the seats.
Who do you use for all your interior stuff?
We have a place in Racine that helped us this time. It's always a struggle sometimes getting a good upholstery shop to work with you, and they're always so backed up because there's so few.
Sure.
So there's another Mark's Custom Upholstery that we work with too. They did stuff with the headliner for us. They're a bear doing some of those original headliners.
Oh, wow. Well, very cool. Now you said that a lot of work was done back here.
Yes, we also, again, reworked the wheel well on here. There was a gas filler door here. We got rid of that. Cleaned up the lines a little bit more. We had to change the body line. When we pulled this out a little bit, that body line had to get changed because it wants to pull the metal apart.
Yeah.
So we reworked that. Of course, the trunk lid gaps, all that was fixed and corrected so it's nice and tight. Fixed the line that goes down the center of the trunk lid so it's not off like almost 99% of the Torinos and Cyclones.
Yep.
Made our aluminum rear spoiler. And then the back here, these are normally a bolt-on pot metal piece. We actually hand formed this out of metal, so it's all one part of the quarter panel. The bumpers, fiberglass, we cut them, shaped them, so they fit nice and tight. And then we use 70 Mustang taillights in the back for that sequential taillight, and it just is a neat look to the back of it. It's like an oversized Mustang when you're following it.
Yeah, I was wondering if those had been changed.
So yeah, I mean, it just, every inch of the car has been tweaked or modified in some shape or form. Either it's been gapped and welded to make it tighter, or fix lines that were incorrect from the manufacturer way back when, or to just add some aero things that are actually functional.
Oh yeah. And these are all within the scope of
the OPTIMA rules and everything.
Rules.
This is actually undersized according to where they say you can come off the back of the back.
Off, right?
Yeah, level.
Yeah, oh, level with the...
But you got to remember, you're coming off of a slope back window, so you got a different airflow, so this will actually function off the back of that car without making it look aesthetically unpleasing.
Yeah.
So that's what you always got to remember. This is still a street car. This thing's completely functional. It's got all the good parts in it. It's got Detroit speed suspension, JRI shocks, Wilwood brakes, BF Goodrich tires, forged on wheels, center force clutch, Tremec transmission. All those good pieces are in the car, but he can take it and run it from a track, go drive it to the drive-in or go to a burger joint or something. You can drive it across the country. It's got vintage air conditioning in it. You know, so it's a completely functional, drivable car, but it's going to be fast too.
Yeah.
That motor, even though it may look like a Ford, it makes 558 at the tire.
Holy cow. And I'm sure you've taken a lot of weight out of the car. Even with all the modifications, I just have this feeling a lot of weight came out.
The weight's been moved around. The DSE part's got aluminum cradle to it because it's their Alumaframe setup. And then it's an LS7 motor, so it's all aluminum motor. So you saved a lot of weight. The normal FE motor from a Ford, the intakes are like 100 pounds. They're crazy.
Wow.
So we took a lot of weight out of the front of the car, and it got moved back a little bit. But the car overall, as big as it is, it weighs 3598 with fuel and fluids.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it was very surprising. I was expecting a little bit more, but I was very pleased that it was that weight.
So, I mean, the reason we came by is, like all of your builds, we work together on the brakes.
Absolutely.
When you approached me and originally said, you know, you're building this car and Jim wants to use Wilwoods on it, I was super happy.
Yes.
We have such a long, outstanding relationship with everybody over at OPTIMA that the fact that he wanted to use our products on it, along with you using it on everything, which...
It's no-brainer for me. It's the only brake choice I go to.
And then the first thing I said to you was, we have to do something different. Well, when you had started the project, you had given me the color, and I told you that I believe it was competition blue is the color we came out with.
That matches to this grabber blue, yes.
And that's a color that's right off of our color palette.
Yep.
It's not a
nothing custom
color
mixed up or anything special that way. It's what you offer, which made it nice.
And then I knew with what it was going to be doing, and then also with how much Jim was going to drive it, I wanted it to be the right setup, or what I call trim level. So I know that we originally started with BP20s.
Yep.
I did the rotors and the GT Spec 37, but I E-coated them black so that they'll stay nice for a while.
Yeah, they look great.
And then it was kind of important to go with the larger 1414 and the aero calipers, so 6-piston front, 4-piston rear, because it's a big car.
Yes.
You know, I typically don't do that on a lot of the cars. I'll go with a super light in the back, but because of how large the car is, all of the photos that I saw of you driving it and shaking it down at Road America, the car looks so proportioned.
It's proportioned, it's flat, it's controlled, everything works well. I mean, there's no issues with any knockback from the brakes. I mean, you know, all the things were taken in consideration. You know, a lot of times people will put such big brakes on, but they don't take in consideration what that big wheel and the brake package flexes on the axle. This has a floater setup in it.
And
that's very important.
And that was one of the things I said. I go, and what we've learned is if you're going to build these cars and you're going to go out and drive them, you just got to automatically go to a floater with all of the larger wheels and deeper offsets.
Yeah, there's so much strain that's put on that outer bearing or axle housing setup. You need it to be beefy and strong.
Yep. So very nice, man.
Thank you so much.
Super stoked for you, and I know Jim's over the moon.
Jim is, I mean, he's like a little schoolboy. But he's like a big schoolboy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So hey, thanks so much for coming by and checking this out with us. My good friend Randy over at D&Z Customs. Check out some of his other stuff. Thanks.
Thank you.